I mentioned that images are created in a so-called grid of 4 images. The images can be referred to by numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. Image 1 is always the one at the left top, then we have image 2 next to it, image 3 and image 4. We have 3 ways to interact with this grid now, or with these images inside the grid. One option is the regenerate option right here. We have the upscale option for specific images. And we have the variation option also for specific images. Let's get started with the regeneration of images, so with this button right here. As ChatGPT, Midjourney has a randomness built into it. This means if you're using the same prompt again and again, you will never get exactly the same results. And this regenerate button does exactly that. It runs the same prompt again and therefore provides different results. You never lose your initial result though. So if I now press this regenerate button, you see a new answer is created by the bot. The initial images remain unchanged. And now we get another grid with 4 images, but these images look quite different than the ones we saw with our initial prompt. The left one is our grid we got when we ran the prompt initially. The right grid is the one we got with the regeneration process. And as you see, both grids obviously contain the core idea of our prompt, an island with beach and the sunshine, but the outcome looks quite different. So instead of copying and pasting the prompt again and again, you can just regenerate the images if the initial result didn't completely satisfy you. Obviously, you should always consider fine-tuning your prompt, adding more keywords and so on, but as mentioned, this will be covered in the next module. The next option are variations. Variations allow you to generate a grid of 4 images based on an image you selected. So for example, I could go back to my initial grid and take this 4th image down here, so this one, and now create a variation based on this image. So Midjourney uses the parameters, the look so to say, of this image it created, and now tries to create 4 new images which look quite similar, but which have some detail changes. So if you have a look at this image we created, you see that we have differences regarding the clouds, regarding the waves, regarding the stones that we can see at the beach. So the general look of the image remains unchanged, but we change slight details inside this image. And this already brings us to the last core option here, and this is the upscale option, so the U for specific images. Initially, upscale had 2 main purposes. The first purpose is to isolate the specific image from the grid, to allow you to download the image and to further use it in your projects. The second purpose was to upscale the resolution of the image. As mentioned, with the latest Midjourney versions, images by default always have a resolution of 1024 × 1024 pixels, and this resolution remains unchanged even after the upscale option was applied. So if I now upscale maybe not one of these images, instead I want to have a more realistic looking one, maybe this first one here. So if I upscale this image now, I once again get the image created at the bottom of my chat now. You see that the image can be opened in the browser, but the resolution is the same that we have inside the grid. So if you compare this size of the image with the one in here, there is no difference. So it's all about isolating the image here. There are ways to change the resolution and the aspect ratio and so on of our images, but once again, this will be covered a bit later in the course. However, after upscaling our image, we got more options available down here, and these options are something we should have a closer look at as a next step.